Hi, I'm Owen from Rask Australia. Thanks for tuning in to the Rask Network. Before we get into today's show, there are a few things we have to go over. Firstly, what you're about to hear and see is limited to general information only. It's not personal financial advice like you get from a financial planner. Also, it's important to remember that past performance is not indicative of future performance. That means that anything that's happened in the past, or we say today, is not necessarily going to reflect what happens in the future. Lastly, please consider that any of the guests or myself are featuring on this program may have a financial interest in some of the products or shares mentioned. That's enough from me. I hope you enjoyed today's program.
Hello and welcome to the Australian Finance Podcast, Kate.
It is good to be back for our Money and Chill episode.
We are in the studio, chilling out.
We've got Monique.
Monique, how you going?
Yes, hello. Good.
Any pizza?
Good.
So this is our slightly laid back episode where we have a bit of chit chat, what we've been working on, and we also share some community-based stuff and what we've been doing behind the scenes.
Owen's got some exciting fish stories to tell.
I've got some props. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. It's got my squid jigs in the studio. So it's a full house today.
Yeah, I've definitely heard the word squid enough today. So
Yep. It's exciting
I'm
stuff.
passing on my pain to everybody else.
Yep. So I think we wanted to start this show with a community thing. Is that right, Kate?
Yes. So I did an Instagram survey with our community recently because I saw you posted on Twitter about your Donnie Buchanan episode on the Investors Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And his one controversial thing was that the ASX should only be open once a week?
One day a week, yep.
One day a week.
And everyone else should just spend the rest of the time doing other
Yeah, and you were
stuff.
running the poll on Twitter.
I was?
Or you were sparking the conversation.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so
yeah. Something was happening.
Something was happening on Owen's Twitter. And so I ran this same poll of how often should the ASX be open? So how often should you be able to go and buy and sell your shares and ETFs in your brokerage account? Mm-hmm. And the options were 1 day a week, the same as normal. So just Monday to Friday, 10 to 4, 24/7, or show me the result because everyone needs one of those buttons on Instagram.
Okay.
And the winning answer was keep it the same. So that was 37%.
Mm-hmm.
1 day a week, 13%. 24% of people wanted 24/7 access to the stock exchange and 26% just wanted to see the results.
Yeah,
so
get out of here. Okay, so how many 24% for 24/7?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, well, interesting results, Kate. I couldn't handle if the market was open 24/7. I don't think it needs to be either.
No, I think it's good that everyone has a weekend.
Yes. And also, it doesn't make you, just because you have access to something doesn't make your decision-making good. Many studies show that the fewer decisions you can make in finance, the better your decisions will be. So that's where Donnie's comment came from effectively. Like, we spend 5 days a week doing something which only needs 1 day a week. So why do we spend so long doing that thing when we could do it in one and then spend the other 4 days doing something else? Mm. And I wholeheartedly agree with that.
He's an active fund manager, isn't he?
He's an active fund manager.
So that's quite an interesting stance to take.
Yeah, but he's long-term focused, right? In most of the professional fund managers in the world say they're long-term, but they're not really. So for him, he actually believes that and he actually follows that with his fund. So for him, it wouldn't make a difference, I'd imagine. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, well, the episode's on the Investors Podcast if anyone wants to have a listen.
It's Donnie's one of the best. Like, he's awesome.
From Lake House Capital?
Yeah, so he worked at the Motley Fool, which the Motley Fool then launched Lake House Capital. So he runs that. And obviously I spent time at the Motley Fool as well when Donnie was there. So Donnie's one of the best investors going around and really lovely guy. So it's actually a really good episode if you wanted to break into the Investors Podcast and you're a bit unsure of like how, I guess, technical it gets. That's a really good episode to listen to because it's not that technical.
Yeah, right.
So
Monique, you going to listen on the weekend?
I've already listened to it.
Oh.
I edited it.
Monique is the number one listener of all podcasts.
She gets the first preview of everything. First cut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen to it many
times. The raw
times.
cuts, which are not good.
Okay, so we had this submission from Chan. They said, not so much a question, but building on from your discussion about the comedy festival in a recent podcast and another money-saving tip. Heads up, Comedy Festival is coming to Melbourne in the next few weeks.
Wow.
So stay tuned, guys. I am not performing, but there is a lot of actual professionals that are. But it's a fantastic low-cost way to go out with your friends and support local artists.
Cool.
But let me continue with this. There's a venue called the Comics Lounge in Melbourne who do a gold pass. This is a membership for 12 months.
I did that once.
Really?
It's so good. Yeah.
Ah.
And they even the one time I went, like the first time I went, which is very convenient, they do competitions and I won the gold pass.
Oh.
So it was just free for me.
So you got a whole year of entertainment.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Really enjoyed it.
So-
and they always have like really cool guests. Like I went once when Tommy Little was there.
Oh, yeah.
So they're actual known
I totally know
people.
who that is.
I do.
There we go.
Yeah. The comment goes on to say they've all got all the big names such as Dave Hughes, Tom Gleason, as well as up-and-coming comics.
So wait, so it's $60 a year for live entertainment.
Yeah.
A single ticket, this person says.
And there's
would
something every
normally be
week.
$20 to $30. That's pretty good
Why
value.
have you not told me about
I
this?
don't know. I forgot about it.
Yes.
It's really good.
You know I'm getting into
Jan's
comedy.
come through with the goods.
Yeah.
So this might be in any, I mean, imagine like in Adelaide with the Fringe Festival and all that sort of stuff. I imagine these
I'm
types
sure
of people.
all capital cities have some sort of...
Yeah, for sure.
Comic
There's always a
lounge
comic
pass
lounge
thing.
anywhere you go.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
doesn't like to laugh?
Exactly.
Yeah. See?
So, yes. Anyway, there we go. Lots of entertainment for you.
So these are some great things. So we've got the Donnie Buchanan thing if you want to learn more about investing. We've got Chan who's giving us a nudge here to Gold Pass for comic lounges and entertainment. Surely there's something right around the country. So if there is something, please write into us and let us know. Like if you're in Perth or Adelaide, Sydney, wherever you might be, let us know because we want to share these types of things with as many people as possible, particularly when it's something fun like this.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I was even chatting to Kate before. I'm going to a show. Yes, I was chatting to you. I'm going to a show next week, and it's like a trial show, and it's like he's going to perform his skits or whatever you call them, and he's going to see how the audience reacts. And it's a much cheaper show, but then he'll like decide his whole sketch and then take that to the festival. So it's like
Cool,
it's a cheaper
cool.
version of his actual show.
That's really cool.
Sammy J, I think it was, yeah. Sammy J.
ABC fame.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. How much did you pay for a ticket?
$15, and usually his show would be like 50 and above. Like, it's pretty good.
I've bought the full price tickets because I'm taking someone,
There
but
you go.
Oh, no. Should have gone to my next one.
Yeah.
well, I didn't know about that a few months ago.
Ah,
I'm
Monique's
sorry.
got all
I'm
the good.
sorry. I
Monique's
just keep all my secrets to
Monique's
myself.
just a treasure trove of money-saving tips, and this is
Yeah.
why she's on the show, to just bring these to life.
If you ask her, she tells you, but she doesn't just like
She's not just going
proactively
to
offer
give them
them.
away
Yeah, right.
willy-nilly.
They're secrets.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
All right. Well, since Monique's on a roll, do you have any other money hacks for us this month?
Yeah, so I like to go to mini concerts, I guess. Sometimes you can't really make them. Like some other things might come up and, you double book yourself, whatever, and you're left with the ticket. So like you can resell your tickets. There's a few websites. Either like if you buy it off Ticketmaster or Ticketek, they both have their own like resell version, which is really good. I've used like the Ticketmaster one a couple of times. And there's also this other website called Tixel, which I haven't really used, but I've only heard good things about it. So surely it's great.
Tixel.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so you just resell your ticket on there, pop it up, someone will buy it, you'll receive the money, blah, blah, blah. So I just think that's a really good idea because I know there's lots of like scams and stuff. People get screwed over a lot when it comes to concert tickets. So yeah, I just thought that was a really good way to go about it, and it's all safe and you get your money.
So how much would you save if you bought a ticket on there, do you reckon?
So you probably wouldn't like save so much money. Like I think people usually just put it up for the amount they paid.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that that ticket's not going to waste.
That's cool. When someone else might be trying to get into a show or something like that.
Yeah, especially for the big sold out tickets. My partner, he went to Red Hot Chili Peppers a few weeks ago and he bought it through the Ticketmaster site. So he wouldn't have been able to go to that if Ticketmaster didn't have the resale ticket service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Good on Ticketmaster for making a bit of extra money in the
Ticketmaster
resale
and
market.
Ticketek. I always thought they were the same, and then I got very confused because I couldn't find my tickets for one event. But Ticketmaster and Ticketek,
Yeah,
and
different.
some artists come to Australia and sell some of the states' tickets through one of them and some through the other. It's confusing.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing sometimes.
Right. And what else you got for us, Monique?
Well, I was
Not that-
scrolling.
that was so
completely
amazing.
different now.
Yeah.
I was scrolling through my Instagram feed, and there's this page called, I'm pretty sure they're fairly new because I haven't really seen it before, Tight Asses of Melbourne.
Yeah.
So they've collated in like kind of a spreadsheet form, like each day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, into cheap eats and where to go for these cheap eats. I think I've seen a couple like directed towards like the northern suburbs. I think they've started to do other suburbs as well. But yeah, so like, you know, when you go to somewhere and you've seen like, oh, the $15 meal deal or whatever, they'll collate that for every single restaurant in the one place, if that makes sense. And they've also started one for Sydney as well. I think it hasn't really gone live yet, but I've seen the Instagram page pop up. So surely there's something happening soon there.
So it's at Tight Asses of Melbourne.
Yes.
But you reckon there's one of Sydney too, at Tight Asses,
Yes.
maybe of Sydney?
Yes, exactly that.
A lot of tight asses around, which is good because I'd probably fall into this camp.
Yeah.
It sounds
I
like...
think everyone's budget's feeling a bit tight at the moment.
Oh, jeez. I see what you did there. Yeah.
But like I've been at the train station, at the bus stop, not that I've got a bus recently, but you get the gist. There's people having more and more conversations I'm overhearing about cost of living, inflation, how much their grocery bills are, and I think we're all feeling it. Like I've definitely noticed the groceries getting up, so I've been trying to be a bit more creative about ways to lower that cost and try to get... Effie was telling me I had to shop around because I usually just go to one place, get it one and done, the groceries, but Effie on Zahos on the podcast the other day said, Kate, I have to shop around. So
you definitely pay for convenience.
yes, going to the local IGA, while super convenient and saves a 40-minute round trip walk to the Coles, is double the price, really.
Yes. Sorry, IJ. But this is true. Yeah, that's what you pay for convenience. You pay for convenience with your car. You pay for convenience with your car insurance. You pay for convenience with your bank. All of these things, the convenience, like we call it the lazy tax, right?
I used to work at a newsagent. Pens were $10. There was an Officeworks right across the road. People still paid $10 for the pen.
There you go.
It's a good analogy for life.
Yeah.
Good job, Monique.
Yeah, good on you, Monique.
Anytime. That's what I'm here for.
All right, now, Owen, you keep touching these things on the table. What have you got for
danger,
us?
Danger. I have
You told me to
squid jigs.
not stick my hand in that before, so what is
Do
it?
not stick your hand in this. This is a squid jig, Kate.
Yep.
Oh, it's actually, I think
Looks
it's
scary.
busted up. I haven't even taken it out of the packet yet. So there goes my idea. But I'm big into fishing. I love fishing. And this is a little squid jig that we use to catch squid, which we then
Spiky.
eat for dinner as calamari, or we use it as bait to catch other fish, like snapper and whatever. Now, you can buy one of these, maybe not that size, but you can buy one of these bad boys, so like a full-size squid jig for like $20 sometimes, $25.
So this looks like the size of a king prawn.
Size of a king prawn but colourful. You can buy one of these from like Anaconda or BCF, and it might cost you $20 for some of them, right? This whole packet right in front of you here, there's like 10 in there. It's like $18 from Amazon. So shout out to Amazon. And while you guys were talking a minute ago, I just wanted to make sure before I spoke about something, but a lot of people I don't think know that if you get the Amazon Prime membership, I'm pretty sure it includes Prime Video. So I read it. I'm pretty sure that's the Australian
The
version
Prime
as well.
subscription service.
Yeah, so you can
Yes.
watch the video just like Netflix, and they've got some great titles on there, like The Night Manager. You guys seen that? So good. When you get an Amazon Prime membership,
Yeah, you get everything.
So you get squid jigs?
music, some ebooks. I've been subscribed for a while.
yeah, you get all that stuff included in the membership, which is again why it's such a good thing for consumers. But this was delivered next day for free because I've got Prime membership, and some of my favorite shows are on Prime Video. So it's going to be a very simple hack for me this month. But if you are choosing subscriptions, you might be inclined, if you're cutting costs, to choose a subscription that also gives you free delivery on super cheap products, so you can save money this year.
They loop people in because when you set up your Amazon account and check out for the first time, they often say activate your subscription free for 30 days and you'll get free delivery with this order. And then most people forget to cancel, which is their aim. But you could just have that going for 30 days. I mean, I paid $15 or $16 for a binge subscription the other day, so they definitely seem to be getting up there.
But you could, I guess with the Amazon thing is you can purchase an annual membership up front. So pay once for the annual membership. It will be cheaper than month to month. You could save 30%.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good because the free delivery is a game changer for a lot of people. Like I don't live in the city, right? So to be able to get this next day is pretty cool.
I remember you were telling me that I could get dishwashing tablets from Amazon for a lot cheaper because they're nearly $1 each at Coles.
Yeah, they're super expensive, and you get them delivered too. So it's really good. I'm a fan, obviously. So that's my very simple. It's kind of like the most obvious money saving hack of all time, but I think it's a great one. Now I don't want to completely kind of like throw all the retailers on the bus. But I also did join Anaconda, being like the outdoor camping thing. I joined their loyalty program. It's free, right? It's free to join. And I think I save like $200 on a fishing reel. So if you're into any type of outdoor stuff where you need a sleeping bag.
You save $200 on a fishing reel.
Yeah.
How much is a fishing reel to start with?
I got some nice fishing reels. After many, many years of...
Is this like a fishing rod or a separate thing?
It's a separate thing. It's the thing that goes on the rod.
Oh, so that's...
The thing that you wind?
The thing you wind, yeah.
Really?
Oh, wait, what? Is it these serious questions or are these like... Come on, you guys don't fish?
No.
No, never even...
You never fished?
I think
Never
I've
seen a
touched a
fishing
fishing
rod in my
rod, but that's about it.
You've what? You've touched a fishing rod, but that's about it.
Yeah, I haven't done fishing. I think I just went to the pier with the fishing rod.
Haven't done the fish.
No.
It's on the fish.
No fish.
All right, dear listeners, you're probably thinking, well, what the hell are these guys smoking today? But anyway, you can get some squid jigs, you can get heaps of fishing stuff, all outdoor camping stuff you can get from Amazon for super cheap. Alternatively, places like Anaconda have their membership and loyalty programs, which all they need is your email address, basically. You can give it to them for free and you can save lots and lots on member prices. So go and check it out. That would be my advice for anyone that's doing anything outdoor related.
Yeah, and if you prefer not to go fishing, you can follow Owen on Instagram. For
Follow
some
me on
fishing
Instagram
snaps
for terrible fishing
and
snaps.
completely free. You do not need to buy any of this stuff.
You do not need to buy any of it. You can just watch me stuff it up. So that's mine, Kate. We've come up with the absolute gold here.
Yeah.
We've got outdoor activities from Monique, tickets. Mine was squid jigs. What's yours? I even brought props.
Monique actually told me this the other day, so she gets full credit.
Oh,
but
Monique's got all of the
I
ideas.
just got them all. The Victorian Power Saving Bonus is
Yeah.
coming back again. So from the 24th of March, a new round starts. So eligible households, I think it's just one per household. You have to have a power bill, but you get another $250 if you go in and chuck in a few details, see if there's a better rate. You don't even have to switch. The government will give you some money. So that's in Victoria. I'm not sure if any other states have things going on, but it's a new round. So if you haven't got your $250 power bonus yet, make sure you claim that before the 24th of March. Otherwise, get on there and get eligible for the next round. So all three of us will be eligible.
Free money.
And we have to get another $250 each.
So I could just literally go on there, compare my energy, done.
Yeah, super easy. It took 5 minutes
Yeah.
when we did it last time.
That's got to be the easiest $250
Free
ever.
money.
I don't think there's an easier $250 to be found, but
That is bold.
Yeah.
If you do have an easier $250 to be found, please write into us because we will share it with the community.
yeah, so I went the next step and then I emailed my energy provider because I was trying to see if I was on the best rate.
Yeah.
And my energy provider told me that I was on the best possible rate using Red Energy. That was just the one that seemed to be
Convenient.
I don't know why I signed up to them in the first place, but it said it was the best rate when I looked originally. And then I went to the government website and compared electricity offers in my area. You can upload the bill. So I just did this voluntarily. And there's only one possible cheaper option, but it wasn't that much cheaper. So I'm probably quite happy where I am.
Okay, Red Energy. Red Energy for Kate. So in New
I
South
think it really differs depending on where you are.
Yeah,
because there's
absolutely.
so many providers.
In New South Wales, there's a low-income household rebate that helps low-income New South Wales households cover the cost of their energy bills. The households receive the rebate as a credit on each quarterly energy bill up to $285 per year. The amount is calculated daily from the day you called your retailer and apply. That's pretty good. If you're a low-income household,
Not bad.
you can simply call and apply. 285 clams in your pocket. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And speaking of spending clams,
Yep.
I bought happiness the other week
Oh,
for a few
bit
hours
of a name drop
by
there. Bored happiness.
going
okay.
to see Ed Sheeran perform.
my
Oh,
Now, hundreds of other Australians are with me here because he sold out shows all around the countries.
Maybe
Hundreds
even
of thousands.
hundreds of
I
thousands.
lost a few words there, but 108,000 people in the MCG singing in one spot. It was magical, and I don't think anyone could have been unhappy for a few hours. And it was just so absorbed in the moment. And I think that was an experience I was quite happy to have paid the money for. And just for a few hours, it was just magical.
What did the ticks cost you?
It was a gift for my sister, so hopefully she's not listening, but I got nice tickets for her birthday because it was a special occasion. They were $150 each, and I was about 25 rows from the stage.
Oh, wow. Is that all?
And I bought them a whole year ago. So I had a lot of time to anticipate this experience, which we've also talked about on the podcast before. If you give yourself time, you buy the thing in advance and then you can think about it for months.
Well, it's just like when you plan a holiday. If you look at all the photos, TripAdvisor, Pinterest,
Something to look
Instagram,
forward
and you
to.
look forward to it and you savor the moment ahead of time.
I also took her out for dinner, which kind of doubled the price. But it was a lovely evening. And I was really surprised. The coffee was the same price as the coffee around the corner at the MCG on the night. So it wasn't completely marked
That
up.
probably says more about what's going on around the corner, to be honest.
I think we've been overcharged around the corner because presumably MCG would have had a slightly higher marked up coffee.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe
Captured
not.
audience.
Maybe they were good. And I thought I'd provide a grocery update. So
Okay, here we go, grocery update.
I haven't crunched
We need,
the
a
numbers
special noise
because
that comes in
I
now.
changed cards and it got a little bit complicated. But farmers market, some bits are better, some bits are worse. I was able to go one fortnight and there was lots of fruit and veg for $1, $2. I went the next fortnight expecting the same thing. The best value stalls with the eggs and the fruit and veg were gone. So it was a
went
bit
out of business.
sad.
Or maybe you bought them out.
I bought some nice bread from a bakery and it went moldy 4 days later. So maybe that was a me problem.
Well, you
But-
should. Yeah. The thing is, if it's nice bread, it will go moldy within a couple of days.
It's true.
That's the sign of good bread.
So I
assuming
should
it
have
is good bread.
frozen some of it.
Definitely freeze it.
I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of freezing bread.
But another alternative, because a lot of supermarkets have some sort of fruit and veggie store nearby. I went to the fruit and veggie store near my Coles and it was $1 for some veggies, got a bag of potatoes for $1. I got a dozen free-range eggs. We were having a debate about this before, but I got that for $4. So even just shopping, and I even got a fry pan, a non-stick fry pan for $12 at Aldi the other day. So trying to shop around a little bit more, as long as you're not paying a fortune in petrol to get around the place, you can find some more competitive options because you can get the best thing at each location.
Lovely.
Especially if you've got one of those like supermarkets near you, like a complex where it's got the supermarket, it's got the fruit monger, the butcher, all that stuff in one area. It's really cool. And it's also good. Most towns have like community and craft markets and those types of things, but they're typically only once a month. So if you just know when they're coming up, you can buy some things and get it on the cheap.
Been
Fresh
asking
stuff.
a lot of people what the best markets are, so I'm going to try some different.
Noosa has a fantastic market.
Yeah,
You'd
I'm
have
gonna
to
just
take
get
a
my
plane
$500 flight up to Noosa.
to buy some eggs.
Yes, but
It is amazing. Anyone listening to this that's been to the Noosa market, you know what I'm talking about.
okay. Well, do some looking. Find the markets near you. They may have better deals, or they may be more expensive.
Okay, I like it. Okay, so we're going to move to behind the scenes at Rask, some things that we've been working on. I'll save the best one for last, but it is official. We are launching a property podcast.
Woohoo.
So for those of you that love property, you love everything to do with property, maybe you want to buy a house, maybe you already own a home and you're thinking of upgrading, or maybe a reno, whatever the case may be, maybe you're just interested in mortgage broking, getting a better deal. We have assembled, I would say, I believe this to be true. I am biased as anything. We have assembled the best co-hosts in Australia for this property podcast. When it's announced, I think it'll be announced by the time this goes out. So you will be able to jump on the Rask Media website and see who they are. But there are 4 people. I'm the weak link in this 4.
Yeah, you put yourself in that category.
No,
of
but
best,
I think these other 3 are.
Oh, they're lifting you up.
That I am the weak link. So
Okay.
my job in this is basically just to host them and let them go.
Full Josh Groban. Okay.
Yes.
Was that funny?
So the Australian Property Podcast is what it's called.
Okay.
The Australian Property Podcast. Whether you're buying a house, whether you're investing in property, it is going to be awesome.
Yeah. Owen just wanted to complete the quartet of colors. We have the blue finance podcast, the yellow investors podcast, the green business podcast, and now we have the red property podcast.
Yes, we do.
Even though we hopefully don't associate property with red. That's
no,
not that fun.
well, REA Group, the realestate.com.au is red.
True.
Oh, you're
That wins.
angling here.
True.
Well, maybe if you're listening, real estate. No, so I think the key thing is that what I really wanted to do was I wanted to cover all of the major things that are important in our community's lives. So we've got like general finance and wellness, which we cover a lot here on the Australian Finance Podcast. We've got the more kind of like what I say is like sophisticated style of investor who really like wants to think about things like capital allocation and like building a portfolio on the Investors Podcast. And then the Business Podcast is like my passion project because I believe that owning businesses and starting businesses is what creates value in society.
And a few grey hairs.
A few grey hairs or just a bald head, or both. And finally, property is, chances are outside, most of the people listening to this will probably have super as their biggest asset. Maybe it's the property by the time they retire. But for most of us, property is the single biggest thing in our lives. Whether we're buying a house right now and we're thinking about deposits, where can we buy, what should we buy? That is such an important decision. Like that first home is incredibly important if you care about your financial future. If you don't and you're just going for a lifestyle asset, then sure. And then if you're approaching retirement and you're thinking, I've got a property and I could do more with super, but how do I like downsize out of this? There's so many things you can do there too. So
lots to learn on the Australian
Property Podcast. You'll hear more about it, but that's it. The next thing is in May, we will be speaking at the Australian Shareholders Association Conference in Sydney. So that's in May. I believe it's the 11th and 12th. Have a look on the Australian Shareholders Association website. We'll be up there. I think, Kate, you may even be speaking. I don't know for sure, but you may be speaking at this event. Kate's face right now is, I am?
Yeah. I saw my photo on the website. You haven't told me any details, so...
and
we'll get Monique up there.
Monique,
I've got a lot to say.
Come up on the
all the
stage.
Tixel things.
Oh yeah.
We do have a new person joining the team at Rask, which is super exciting. So that she will join shortly after this is announced.
Maybe she can come on the next Money and Chill.
Maybe she'll be on the next Monique and Chill. That will be, yes, well, maybe. But she will be joining us from Sydney as well, which is cool. So the team will be expanding and we're excited for that. So you'll hear from her. We'll make the announcement in time. I'm excited. Finally, Kate.
You're excited about everything.
This is the big one. This
Have
is
you
the
got
best
any
for last.
excitement left?
Well, the team members joining is pretty cool. But this thing that's happened recently that we haven't announced yet is my favorite of all these things.
All right, we'll do fictional drummer.
Okay.
We have just passed 20,000 students enrolled in courses on Rask education, from everything from ETFs for beginners to sorting out your super to our road trip we launched with Tash Invest last year and our Get Started Investing course with Equity Mates. So thank you.
Yeah.
That is a lot of people. Not quite the MCG's worth at Ed Sheeran, but it is a lot of people. And we just love that we're able to help that many people. And that's one of the great things about online courses. We can get all that information out further.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you to everyone that listens to this show, that recommends our podcasts or our courses to your friends and family. That is the ultimate form of trust when it comes to finance, is recommending someone. And you do that for us, which is just incredible. So 20,000. Our most popular course ever is our ETF investing course. Followed by other courses like our share investing course, obviously.
The FIRE course is
the
pretty
FIRE
popular.
Course, Kate is giving a special plug to. The FIRE, Financial Independence Retire Early course. We do have a Property 101 course. We've got an ethical investing. It's literally...
A lot of courses.
We've got heaps of things going on there.
And a lot more on the way that I'm working on at the moment.
Yes, which all will be revealed at the next Money and Chill, I hope.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Kate's saying, yeah, I've got to do it.
Yes.
But it's going to be a huge year for our education platform. Thanks to Kate for spearheading everything. Like 20,000 people enrolled in those courses is just incredible. And so that's why we do what we do. And so it's why we kind of built everything the way we did. So I'm so super excited and super stoked about that. So that's some news behind the scenes that I'm sure there'll be a link in the show notes. We do have a few more things that we'll wrap up with before we say goodbye to you for today, and then you can start listening to the more serious episodes here on the Australian Finance Podcast.
Yes, and if you stay tuned to the end, we're going to have a special giveaway.
Yes, we are indeed. But first, any interesting reads, podcasts, or things that have come across your desk recently, ladies? Like anything that you want to share with the community?
Well, I guess I'll start.
You can't use the psychology of money anymore. You've used that one.
There's this podcast some of you may know of called the Australian Business Podcast.
Oh, Monique, you shouldn't have.
Yeah. So we've been working on that one.
Yeah.
That's been your main source of entertainment recently.
Definitely. My go-to, it's the green one. So last week, Owen and I, we went to Wangaratta.
And a road trip together.
We went on a road trip.
Yeah, road trip. It's about 3 hours north of Melbourne.
Yeah,
in the country.
Yep. We took all our cameras up, our recording gear, and we did a podcast with a furniture company called McPhails. So that was really cool. We learnt about how the business works, all behind the scenes. We did like little behind the scenes, like little walkthrough as well to see how everything worked. Yeah, and it was just really cool. It was cool to see how a different company and business works.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you suggested that one, Monique.
I know. I came up with it all by myself.
Wow. So one of the things that we do, we're trialing is like the little documentaries.
Yeah,
you could
little
call it.
documentaries. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did this one of a furniture business and how it runs. We did one of a coffee roastery where we all went along to Joe's Coffee Roastery, Rumble Coffee Roastery.
That was some good coffee.
That was good
That
coffee.
was really good coffee.
Yeah. And we did one in Sydney with an engineering company called Laserbond. So we're looking for all these little fascinating businesses that do things that you don't even think about. So if you like that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
Good
They're really
shout-out,
fun
Mum.
to make. So I hope everyone else enjoys them.
yeah, cool. And only can get better from here, I think. So that's great.
Yep. Well, all feedback to be directed towards Monique.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. So for me, I'll call out 2 Tim Ferriss shows recently. The Morgan Housel one, which is not a new one, but I went back and listened to that because I realized I got 2 hours into it and I thought I was at the end. It goes for over 3 hours.
Some of Tim's episodes are pretty lengthy.
Yeah. Funny you use first name basis. How's this move? Kate tweeted Tim Ferriss like a year ago now.
Yeah.
And he retweeted it and it was like the biggest tweet ever.
Oh my God.
I
I think this was during lockdown. This is a while ago.
Okay, right, maybe a couple of years.
But like Tim or Tim's assistant saw the tweet. You know,
God.
probably Tim's assissistant.
yeah.
So now first name basis.
So first name basis. Yeah. So Tim, if you're listening, Kate wants to interview for the Australian Finance Podcast. I also listened to the most recent episode of Tim Ferriss, which was the Michael Malbison. You might remember Michael Malbison because we did the 10 qualities of an investor recently. That was based on his work. And he's been interviewed recently and some of the stuff.
Next week he pops up on Tim's show. So
damn it.
just
What a coincidence.
Yeah, I thought he might
Kate
have been
knows
like
Tim. Michael appears on Tim's podcast before ours.
I thought I pitched Michael via email because I thought, this might be a cool follow-up for the Investors Podcast. But then next minute he's on Tim's podcast and I'm like, nah, he's a bit too big for us. He is not going to respond to my email. But you never know.
You never know, Michael, if you're listening, or Michael's friends, please reach out to us. Like, Tim, come on, mate. So I've also been listening to Call Her Daddy.
Did you listen to the Demi Lovato episode?
No, I haven't. Is that wait, what? Is this controversial? Have you been listening?
I was listening to a couple of episodes while I was on all the long runs last year to break up the Tim Ferriss
cool.
episodes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's good fun. What do you think?
It was good.
It's just like an easy listening.
Yeah.
Bit of trash talking.
Though I did listen to a Diary of the CEO episode this morning.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
How was that?
was
Competition,
good.
by the way. Competition. On a different level.
It
We're
was
like the fly on the back
an
of the rhino.
interview of an actor that I'd watched at a show growing up in high school.
What's his name? Is it that guy from Star Wars?
No, her name was Lucy Hale,
Oh, okay.
Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, no.
Oh,
So I haven't finished it.
Okay, so I've got 2 more things that I will throw out there that I highly recommend.
Yep.
I always recommend The Knowledge Project, which is with Shane Parrish from the Farnham Street blog. It's his podcast, The Knowledge Project. But if you haven't got time to listen to those really dense episodes that are just awesome, you can listen to an episode he's got Best of 2022, and it's got 10 minutes of some of the best guests he's had on. People like Marshall Goldsmith, it's Matt Walker, the sleep expert.
Yeah.
So there's so many people like that.
Marshall Goldsmith was your favourite
Huberman.
one, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they compile it all together so it covers things like diet, sleep, health and wellness, money, like all of the best insights in one. Finally, I just got a book delivered today, the book Traction by Gino Wickman.
I
It's
saw that out on your desk.
Yes, it's a book for small business owners and medium business owners, and basically everyone can pick it up, and it teaches you about how to think about your business. I think it's through like 6 different kind of lenses. Just overall, how do you think about, the vision that you create, the team, the purpose, all that stuff. So
Are you going to start applying some of that stuff on us?
I will. So watch this. We're going to do some tests. Going to be some psychological tests as you walk into the office. I don't know.
Gosh, be
What's the
prepared,
vision?
Monique.
What's the vision?
We wrote that down a few years ago
We
to
did.
help people invest their time and money better. I don't
Yes.
think that needs to change.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And have a bit of fun because we're on Money and Chill.
Gosh.
Yeah. Okay. So, Kate, now that we've both gone, what's the one from you?
All right. A book that I did read and did enjoy and interviewed Shell, the author, Sort Your Career Out and Make More Money by Shell and Glenn James.
Yep.
Creator of the My Millennial Money Empire, but Shell's the host of My Millennial Career. So that's a great interview with her on the Finance Podcast.
good.
But I just found it was a really, really practical book. I didn't think I'd want to read a career book, but it was just very interesting and lots to think about and very practical, I'd say. So, yeah, I enjoyed that. It is a heavy book, but you can really skip to the section that's relevant to you at the time.
That's cool. I like that.
I'm also currently reading Noel Whittaker's new book. Not new book. It's actually been around for 20 years and he's revised it every single year, Making Money Made Simple. Because after we mentioned, this was my, I haven't used the word manifestation before, but when Evan and you and I did the Q&A last month, we had a listener question about Noel Whittaker and why we haven't had him on the show. So we mentioned him in that episode and next minute to the office, his book arrives in the post. So I email his team and he's going to come on the podcast in the next few months. So there we go.
Is he
Manifestation.
coming into the studio?
I think he lives in a different state, Owen.
Okay. Come on, Noel.
Yes.
Come to the studio.
Yeah, so I'm reading
We'll
his
take
book
the
at the
studio
moment.
to him.
I'm enjoying it so far. It's very simple, straight to the point, and quite comprehensive.
Was sold over was it 2 million copies or something? Or something, or
I
a
think
million?
it says at least 1 million on the front cover, but it's over 20 years, so.
Yeah. Well, if it's reprinted again and again, and the publisher must be really happy with it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's great.
So,
Noel. Woo. Okay.
Whoa,
The
yeah.
OG, basically, the OG. So that's going to be heaps of fun having him on the show. Okay, one more you got for us?
I was, as part of the prep for our hydrogen ETF deep dive we did a couple of weeks ago on the Finance Podcast, I was listening to the Australian Government's Renewable Energy Agency's podcast.
Arena.
Yes, so the podcast is called Rewired.
So Arena Rewired podcast.
Yeah, and they've been
Tongue
doing this
twister.
for a few years, but there's some really interesting episodes and they've interviewed different people working in this space in Australia. So it's produced by the government, so it's pretty good for a government podcast, but there's some interesting stuff in there, and so I'm going to keep listening to that podcast because there's quite a back catalogue.
Cool. I like it. So what's this giveaway that you're talking about?
Yes, well, you love doing giveaways and I love imposing limits on your limitless giveaways. So I am thinking that for 100 enrollments in our $99 courses on Rask Education, they will be free for the first 100 people
Okay.
using the coupon code 2020.
20. So the first 100 people to listen to this can go to the Rask Education website,
Yep, if you
And
have
in-
an account, sign in. If you don't,
create
Create an
Twitch
account.
Yep.
then add one of the courses that are $99, like the career, the fire, the ETF, the ethical.
Yep.
I
Any
think that's it.
any of those that are like
Add it to your cart. Add the
There's a
coupon
valuation
code.
course.
That is free.
Yep. The share valuation course.
That's already free.
Yep. Okay, that's good.
So you don't need a coupon code for that. But any of those 4 courses, add to your checkout, add the coupon code 20, and you can check out for free.
So 100 people, if you're listening and you want to enroll in these courses, go and do it now.
yeah. So that's our little gift to you.
A little gift to you and a little thank you for sharing the love on our free courses and our mission to help everyone access financial education and financial wellness.
And of course, if you're after that, we do have a lot of free courses with our road trip, the Get Started Investing course, the property course, the business course. So if you're interested in starting a business, that one's been quite popular as well.
I think we're getting about it. Doesn't sound like a lot in the grand scheme of there being over 2 million businesses established in Australia, but we're getting 100 people enroll in that business course every month, which is really, if you think about that for a second, starting a business and running a business is one of the most daunting and scary and like risky things you can do. So if 100 people are thinking that, even if half of them are going through that course, that's incredible. So If you are thinking of that, if you have a side hustle that you're looking to make more money from, go and take the course. It's a really good course.
Yeah.
Get behind it. Kate, that's
All
awesome.
right.
Very generous of you. And congratulations on getting to 20,000 students in Rask Education.
Yeah.
That is a huge feat, honestly. It
We've
is
got a few students, so I think you want to get to 100,000 by 2025, but
I
that's
would
another
love to
story.
get to 100,000. I think there are so many Aussies. I think every Aussie can do with some financial education, even if you're just an investor and you want to learn about investing, or you want to learn about budgeting and you want one of our spreadsheets, or
And that's a great thing. Once you learn about money, you've got that skill for life. You don't have to keep going back and learning the personal finance basics every single year. Sure, new tools, new things you could add, things you might want to change, but those basics are yours for life.
we just launched that automation course, nearly 1,000 enrollments. So
Yes,
Wow.
that was a bit of fun. That's our shortest course ever. So if you want something in under 60 minutes,
Give it
automate
a
your
crack.
finances. Just
Yeah.
do one thing.
So we've got heaps of goodies in the show notes for this episode. If you do like the Money and Chill segment, we'd love to know what you think. Obviously, we are a bit more chilled out days like today, but
And
we will be
we're-
back with the serious stuff.
Yes, absolutely. There is a lot of guest episodes, including Noel, in the near future we've got lined up, and lots planned in our content calendar. So feel free to get in touch. Instagram's easy. You can contact us via the podcast question form that's in the show notes.
We love answering questions.
You can find Owen on Twitter. He loves a bit of Twitter interaction.
Love a bit of Twitter. Yeah, I do remember the poll that you mentioned at the top of the show, by the way. I don't mind a poll, a cheeky poll every now and again.
Yes. And if you want to suggest anything for us to include in our next Money and Chill, we're going to start reading out more from the community in a bit of a community segment. So always try new things.
Yes, I like it. And don't forget, you can join us inside the Rask Core community, which is our membership community designed to help you invest better. If you want to see which ETFs and shares we are recommending, that's where you go.
Yep. So Owen's Instagram for fishing, Rask Core for actual decent information. So that is
Squid Jigs. Getting a gig again. Okay.
All right,
well, thank you, Mini Pizza, for joining us and sharing so many tips. I feel like they all just trace back to you. So thank you.
Always. I mean, I have the best ones, don't I?
yeah, you've been very inspiring this past month.
Oh, what a compliment.
I love it. And Kate, as always, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for listening, everyone.